remember I asked you to do that yesterday? Man, I can tell you, I gotta play Lotto. I gotta play Lotto.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Welcome to our website. We got loads of news and gossip for you today. But first, here's a new song.
What would you do to get to me? What would you say to have you wait? Would you give up or try again? If I hesitate to let you in, now would you be yourself or play a role? Tell all the boys or keep it low. If I say no, would you turn away or play me off? Or would you say, and if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again. Cause if at first you don't succeed, you can dust it off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again, try again. I'm into you, you into me, but I can't let it go so easily. Not till I see what this could be eternity or just a week. You know our chemistry is off the chain. It's perfect now, but will it change? This ain't a yes, this ain't a no. Just do your thing, we'll see how it goes. And if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again. Cause if at first you don't succeed, you can dust it off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again, try again. If you don't wanna throw it all away, I might be shy on the first day. What about the next day? I said you don't wanna throw it all away. I might be bugging on the first day. What about the next day? And if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again. Cause if at first you don't succeed, you can dust it off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again, try again.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Slowly, because I'll be in jail. Welcome, 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 welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Thursday afternoon.
Okay, I have it. Relate.
Slowly, because
A
I
very
put me in
important
jail.
day. I know you watched me moving furniture, setting sets, doing, and you went, oh, I got to get to work.
I don't understand why you're moving furniture.
Because I wanted the set. How
The
lovely
key
does that
word
look?
is she wanted. Not that we needed it, but she wanted.
Want, need, have to have.
And where was Slick?
He was running Fuego.
No, Fuego was done by 11:40.
He went to get lunch.
And today is Thursday. Don't we normally have like tremendous crew in here on Thursday?
One's out with COVID and one it didn't show up yet.
Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, caring is sharing. My son came into studio yesterday just to yell at me to get off my phone
Yes, he
and
did.
not talk to people on my phone while I'm doing the show. So I've given my phone to one of the producers, and you're going to keep it away from me. And you're going to see me. Now, that will require all of you that are watching to write in the questions that you're texting me or call in. It's free. We pay for the call. Did you know that?
888-994-4995. Thankful Thursday. I have to tell you, how many layers does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Pop?
Stop saying that because she already screamed that Slick for using the line. So I can only imagine.
I do not even know. Look at that. In 1912, they changed the touchdown to different points. Today is National Women Physicians Day. I wish we had known that when we had that other lady physician in.
She does plastic surgery and stuff. Amazing. She's opening up today.
A med spa, I think, right?
A med spa, and in Lake Worth. And she's here because she says, I can never not think of any place to be to do the opening. So she's going up there. That's why DJ's going up there.
Very nice.
You're going to be seeing more of our Latin shows on Fuego 2.0.
Very nice.
DJ did a very nice job. Slick, thank you for running that board. We're going into the wine business, did you know that? We are going to have our own Sonic wine. So he says to me, what kind of music? So
I
said,
was thinking about that. Is it going to be Steve-O's voice?
no,
I don't think it's very...
No, it's going to be instrumental. I don't want to do it. No.
Oh, soon. A Bad Bunny?
definitely
No.
not. It's going to be Playhouse tunes.
Like theater, like Broadway?
Yes, because you like that.
I love that.
So he gave me these Latino beats because he says I'm more of the Latino beat.
You are,
type of
which
more
is really
country.
nice too.
So I said maybe we could do a combination of both, a Playhouse with a Latin, with a jazz. So I was throwing all these things at him, so he was trying to figure out how to do it. But that's to be continued. We're going to have some exciting news, some concerts coming at you. You know, I made JC a promise. I'm going to keep my word on this thing. But we are going to come up with an idea that is tremendous. And we are going to experiment with the UK. You have the UK flyer? Yes, right here. It's tough being me. We're going to experiment with Mario Lanza, and this is going to be a pay-per-view gig, but this is going to teach me some of the stuff that I shouldn't be doing when we go live from Meisner. We're going to go live from Parker Playhouse. I am very wound up today, because I'm going to tell you, the meetings that I just had for 2 hours or an hour, whatever it was, impressive.
Very nice.
Now, do you know the major deal today? You know the major deal?
No.
You know what they call me?
What?
What's my name?
Freddie?
Lord.
Oh, yes, Lord Frederick.
Frederick. Lord Frederick of Birmingham.
What, Puerto Rico?
Boca? South Bronx.
Devonshire?
We are going to get knighted.
You're not
I think
supposed to
something
talk about that.
I could talk about anything
You're
I want.
supposed to be very not nouveau riche. You're supposed to be very proper and keep that amongst
Now
ourselves.
what?
Nouveau riche.
What the hell is that?
We talked about that last
No, I don't
week.
speak English.
It's about new money and being very ostentatious and pretentious. We don't do that.
If I had money and it was new, I'd be very ostracized, whatever that word is.
Ostentatious?
That too. All of that. Why?
No.
Why not?
Because you're supposed to be humble.
I am humble. Did I tell you my first name now will be Lord? You know how 007 says James Bond?
Give me Lord Freddie.
He's so good. I'm going to be Lord Frederick. I never even used the word Frederick. You can't be a Lord Freddie. You got to be Lord Frederick. And you're going to be Lady Dawn. This is tremendous news. Tremendous.
It's huge news is all I can tell
We
you.
will be. What is she laughing at? Why are you laughing? Can you imagine Sir Slick? Oh my God!
Sir Slick,
Slick.
and Dame Alana.
And Lady Madonna?
Dame Alana. She can be a
Dame.
sir or a dame.
No, you can't call her
Scotland.
Dame.
Why?
She doesn't like that.
I know. I think they should
She's
really
more like
rechange
Lady
that.
Alana. Lady Alana. That's a tongue twister. Lady Alana. But I love this thing.
You're very wound up today.
You are able to become a lord or a knight. I like Sir Frederick.
I think that's what we shall dub you.
I think I should be dubbed.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Hold on.
He has not had enough coffee yet on
Hold
this
on.
Thursday. You've
I
had
have to
very
raise my-
busy. Happy
raise my-
birthday, Mom. Today is my mom's birthday. So, Mom, if you're watching, you might be up. Happy birthday to you. A lot to celebrate today. We've got Tori Wells of Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods joining us all the way from Tampa. And Tori, just for you, I baked bread this morning.
And she didn't burn it.
Honest to goodness, I baked the bread right here in the studio from Coley's Crumbs, right? Easy. You're going to see how delicious it is. We're going to put some of Tori's butter on it. And we now have an oven in the back.
Now we could do Lady Dawn bread.
Okay.
Because it doesn't burn. She didn't burn it, honestly. That's a good thing.
It sounds good to me.
She hit toast, but we took care of that.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break.
We're leaving already?
Get ready to bring Tori over because we got some tasting to do on our February love set. So stay tuned. Give us a call, 888-994-4995. Get your computers ready. Whatever you want. Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods. Get your order ready because nothing, as Slick says, I don't know about you, but nothing
Commercials
says
in the
love
back.
like butter. Stay tuned.
Nothing says it like Slick.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
With enough butter, anything is good. Tori Wells from Precious Treasure Gourmet Foods thinks so because she single-handedly updated and expanded butter's possibilities. From compound, savory, sweet, and spicy, her freshly made butters aim to please. I don't know about you, but I've never really seen butter this versatile before, and now so feasible. With online shopping, just visit PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com because at Precious Treasures, Tori is working on the best artisan gourmet foods to every table. Remember, guys, true love is like butter. There's no substitute for the real thing.
Watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This portion of today's show is brought to you by Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods.
So you ready to have some bread?
I gotta tell you, I tried a piece because I wait for nobody. This bread came out freaking pretty good. You
So
did really well.
I came in bright and early this morning because I was really getting tired of going to the grocery store to buy bread. So I thought, I know we've got some bread from Coley's Crumbs. Gluten-free bread was in our freezer from Coley's Crumbs. All I needed was an oven, so I thought no better place to actually try it with little equipment than we had than right here in the studio. So I brought in a little mini oven, put it in, and you've got fresh gluten-free bread for Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods. So let's bring Tori over, see what we got trying over here. Hi, Tori.
Hi, Don. Hi, Lord Frederick.
How do you like this,
See
Frederick?
the way I eat my bread? This is, oh my God.
Are you enjoying this? So this is the maitre d' herb. I opened up the Steakhouse Cowboy for you as a treat because you're so happy today. And then we've got the other ones. How are you? You changed your hair. It looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm doing great. How are you guys doing? Looks like you guys are having so much fun. I love the studio. It feels like a lot of love going on over there.
You really got to come over and check the studio out. You haven't been here.
I have not been there.
When you come
I
over
do
to this
need to
side?
come. I don't know. Let's talk about it so I can schedule a day off of the real job so I can come have fun at the fun job.
Well, I gotta tell you, whatever job you're doing, you gotta keep this bread thing going. There are 3 delicious tastes here.
The butter.
Okay.
She actually really made the bread. I'm shocked. And it tastes
It
really
looks amazing. It looks really good. Great job, Don.
So easy.
So,
You've
okay,
worked
so
with
tell me,
Nicole,
what butters
right?
are you guys tasting? So what are you tasting now, though? What butters are you tasting on your bread?
This is the Steakhouse Cowboy.
Okay.
This is the maitre d' herb, which is always one of my favorites. I think this is delicious. That one I think you have. That's not the cranberry. I think that's the strawberry basil, Freddie.
Strawberry or cranberry?
That's the strawberry basil for Valentine's.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a winner.
Strawberry
Okay.
basil is so good. I love it. And
This is
you,
a winner.
I'll eat it on biscuits. I love it on biscuits, and I love that you have it for bread. It's great.
This one right here is, this is the cranberry that I think you love so much.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
maybe
cranberry
that's the
apricot.
citrus. That might be the citrus.
This is a winner. This Valentine one? My goodness. What are you doing?
Yes, strawberry basil has been going very well at the markets, by the way. It's strawberry season. It's here. It's upon us. And strawberries are in the stores in abundance. And so that always helps me out when I go to the markets and they are full of strawberries and they're sweet and they're good. Helps me out with the butter. I think it's a good holiday butter for Valentine's Day.
But let's talk about what makes your butter different than other butters.
Well, I would like to say it's the foundation of the butter. I like to get the butter that is coming from grass-fed cows. I think it tastes different. I think it's light and airy. I know it's not been like they're not feeding the cows other stuff other than allowing them to be free range and eat grass. I think it makes a huge difference in the quality of milk that comes from them, and it just makes the butter taste light and airy, and it has its own unique color. It's not dark and heavy and saturated because they're not getting grains and things like that. They're just letting them eat grass, and that is what I think makes it different from other butters. And then we're talking about compound butters. So now they're being infused with good things like herbs and spices and fruits and berries. And I think that is the turning point for a compound butter, is when you're adding those good ingredients, right? Because we can add those same ingredients to any butter, right? But if we're using a grass-fed cow's milk butter, and then we're going to add those ingredients, it makes it nice and light. And you guys can see right there, all those butters look nice, light. They look very rich when I put the ingredients in. They're not dark and goldy looking. It's a good product.
They are beautifully wrapped, and the beautiful presentation of the colors and the herbs. You haven't even tried your Steakhouse Cowboy favorite.
Because I know I love that one.
I know you do.
So I'm trying the others, which are really unbelievable. Now, I took a Steakhouse Cowboy home, and Linda took a piece of it and put it in pasta. Because we had
Oh,
spaghetti
yeah.
last night. Wow.
Good.
Yep.
Unbelievable. It goes right in. It stays with the pasta. Unbelievable.
It's really good. A customer told me that she was adding it to pasta. She was making like a stroganoff. She was using beef with the pasta, and she added the steakhouse to her pasta as well. And that's why I wanted it on the label. I added pasta to the label because of her. So that's good you tried it like that.
Can you bake with these?
Absolutely. Anywhere it says butter, you can use these butters.
So imagine like baking
Anywhere.
cookies or something, or a torte or something for
Yes.
Valentine's Day. You can bake
Yes.
anything you can bake.
Anything that you use butter where it requires you to have butter, you can use these compound butters and know that you're going to get all those herbs and spices and stuff inside of whatever you're baking it in, because it's coming out. They can't hide. They're in there.
I'm gonna tell you that cowboy, spicy, delicious.
And how do you like it with the bread? Have you worked with Nicole on the bread and the butter situation?
Have not talked to Nicole. I assume that we shall get together soon enough. Although we haven't reached out to one another, I did get an opportunity to try some when we were at the event for our Alzheimer's celebration in
Right.
October. So I did get a chance to meet her, and I got a chance to try some of her products. And I hope that maybe one day we'll get a chance to work together. I know she has her breads in other stores, and maybe that is something we can look forward to in the future. But I can imagine her fresh bread and that gourmet butter. It's got to be a good combination.
And we tease all the time that I don't cook because I really don't. So when I came in today to bake bread, they were all laughing at me. Now, I must admit, I forgot to put the oven on bake for the first 20 minutes. But once I put it on bake, it was so simple, and how easy. We have fresh bread and delicious butter now.
And the bread this is the first time I've had the bread. Unbelievable. Now I gotta ask you, tonight I'm gonna have steak chunks. If I take that butter, the cowboy, and I put it in and I heat it up for 3 minutes, it'll turn into a liquid for me?
Yes, it will.
Okay. One of the things that we're experimenting is you take the steak, you cut it, take a chunk of it, and you dip it in the butter.
Yes.
And eat it that way.
You're doing it like a fondue, huh? You're going to do it
That's
like a
right.
fondue.
I'm telling you,
I
fondue,
like that.
baby.
That
What
sounds
about
amazing.
lobster?
You can
Yes.
put right over the lobster. Maybe I go get some
Yes.
lobster, have a little surf and turf.
Mm-hmm.
What
Absolutely.
I like about the cowboy is that it enhances the food that you're eating. Like pasta, you would think tastes like pasta, right? In my world, pasta doesn't have any taste. All of a sudden, this pasta it was exploding off the plate. So I put the meat on one side, the pasta on the other, and I was combining them by the spoonful because I love the way the pasta was tasting.
What are you finding are the
Nice.
biggest trends when people are coming to your table and they're buying Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods butter?
I'm going to tell you right now, off the bat, everybody wants to know what's my favorite. Like, what's my favorite butter? And it's so hard because I make them all and I like them all. But I'm going to tell you, my absolute favorite butter of all butters is the Maitre d' herb. And it's because I can manipulate it and have it with so many different foods because of all the herbs. Now, I have a second runner-up that I think is off the chain, just amazing, and that is the sun-dried tomato. So those two are my top two favorites that I like. It's sun-dried tomato and Maitre d' herb. Those are my favorite butters. Those are my top sellers. And then it kind of goes from there. Like, I put the top sellers out and I let people taste the top sellers. They know that they're top sellers. I have them down low. I, explain them all to people and I let them know, hey, we got the herb butter, we got the steakhouse butter, we got our sweet cinnamon orange, and then we have our sun-dried tomato. So those are my top flavors. And then all the other fun flavors, I kind of have them surrounded around the top flavors. And I let people kind of engage. Tell me if you're sweet. Tell me if you're spicy. Tell me if you're a savory person. And we go from there. And then we try to, it comes like fun. Sometimes, again, you know how we came up with our game, what kind of butter are you? That's how that all kind of started, because it's like, hey, I need to know what kind of, what kind of flavors are you into? Which way you want to go, and it goes from there.
It's amazing. I gotta tell you, I never had the bread before, and the combination of the bread and her butters. I mean, her butters are always delicious. How do people order? I want people to hear this a couple of times. How do people order your stuff?
People can order from PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com. That is the website. All you got to do is go out to the website, pick the butter of your choice, put it in your cart. Boom. It goes right to PayPal. I get the order and you get the butter. Sweet, easy, and simple. And I told you guys, I think on our last segment or two, that we were going to have our box appear on Cratejoy. Well, yay, it's out there. You can get your monthly box subscription from Cratejoy, and it looks a little like this.
I like that.
Nice.
So they can get that if they go to Crate Joy. Is that it?
Crate Joy.
And
What
they
is
can
Crate Joy?
subscribe for the monthly So Crate Joy is a box platform. It only sells boxes. And so the butters are a monthly butter box subscription. You can get a different flavor every month. It costs you $40 plus shipping and handling, and you get it every month. You see the preview of the butter that's coming, the box coming, and you get to see the box that's passed, the one you missed. See how good the box you missed. And so right now, we had strawberry basil for February. It was out there. It shows you that was our past box because we're a month out. And it shows you our new box, which is centered around our citrus because this is still citrus season, right? And so we want to make sure we get those oranges. And you have that, the citrus garlic butter. You have that butter. That's our new box coming up for the month of March. And it tells you our theme is all about green shamrocks and gold coins, which is very apropos for citrus garlic butter. So again, you can go out to PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com. You can order it from there. You can go to Crate Joy and subscribe to a monthly subscription to get your monthly boxes of butter. So we're having a lot of fun. And of course, if you guys are in the Tampa area by me, on my side of the island, as I like to call it, feel free to show up at any of my markets. You can check me out on Instagram and Facebook. Same tag, PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com.
Where are your next markets for the weekends?
So this weekend, I am in Hyde Park area in Tampa on Sunday. And then on Saturday, I am at the Wiregrass Shops out in Wesley Chapel. So if you guys are in the area, come on by. Check me out in Wesley Chapel at the shops. Sunday, I'm in Hyde Park near downtown Tampa. And come and get your taste on, get your buy on, get your eat on, because I have bread too from our sourdough, Gulf Coast Sourdough Bread Company. And we are going to be here from 10 to 2 on Saturday and on Sunday.
Well, let me ask you, what do you enjoy about the markets? Because that's a whole lot of work, a lot of setup. We were just at the fairgrounds, and I look at what they set up in these booths, and you think, holy smokes. Next year, we got to get to a South Florida fair.
Yeah, it takes me about an hour and a half to set up my booth. I'll have to send you some pictures of what it actually looks like when it's all set up and ready to rock and roll. And I think I'm a people person. So the best thing is that I'm interacting with people and I'm encouraging them and engaging them to taste the butters, because people don't, they say, what I hear a lot? People say, oh, the bread and butter booth. Oh, we love this. Oh, the bread and butter booth. We love bread and butter. Who doesn't like bread and butter? I'm like, exactly. So you should come on over, get you a taste on, and once I get their palate, it's pretty much history. They're trying to figure out which butters to buy. I go out with about 8 to 10 butters every market, and so they are just like, I'm confused. I don't even know which one to go for. They're all so good. I think just engaging with people, having that camaraderie and that fun, I love that part. It's just me being my free spirit,
Tell us again how we can get the product.
You can get the product from PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com. You can check me out on Instagram and Facebook, which will link you right over to that same website. And of course, you can always go out to Crate Joy, which is our new platform for the monthly butter boxes. If you go to CrateJoy.com, type in Precious Treasure. Before you can even finish typing it in, it pops up on the screen for you so you know where to go to get that box.
Now, she's a chef, right?
Yes.
So I'm looking for...
Freddie, I am not a chef. Someone's going to get me in trouble. You're going to get me in trouble. I am not a chef. I am just a great cook.
No, I have some spies. I've seen your booth. I got pictures. I heard through the grapevine that you're modest and you don't talk about... She's a chef. She can cook. I'm waiting for you to open up the butter restaurant.
Me too. That's exactly what I want. I want the best butter boutique you can come into. Let me tell you guys something. I don't know if you guys, so I've traveled. I've been so blessed in my life. I've traveled all over the world. I went to Croatia for about a month. I had a blast in I think it was in 2017, 2016. Had so much fun. It was the year to go to Croatia, and I just so happened to go. When I get there, they have all these gelato places because it is huge business in Croatia, gelatos. They have it stacked up like statues. You look through the window and it's just all these gourmet centerpieces of gelato. that made me think about the butter boutique and thinking, what would it be like to set up butter like sculptures? You can look at them and come on in and get your taste on, buy your bread, buy your butter, get a sandwich, have coffee or tea, juice. I think it'd be a great opportunity to have the butter boutique appear somewhere.
I think it'd be great.
There are people that carve in butter. They get big blocks of butter and they
Yes.
do carvings in butter.
Yes.
They,
And could you imagine that in different flavors, like carved out butters in different flavors, just like, right? So it's such a lure, right? It's so inviting. It's so good. And if you saw, I'll have to see you guys some pictures of some of that gelato that they have in Croatia, how they have it set up like sculptures in the window. And, it's so, it just lures you right on it. You want to come in because it looks so good. It's so pretty.
You do a 10-table small boutique restaurant, right? Butter restaurant boutique. And this adjoins every serving, so because she can cook. So you put the food on the table, you put these dippers, you can make them dippy, you can make however you want to make it. And I'm going to tell you something, she got a winner. She don't even know it yet. But I heard that that's what you wanted to do through the grapevine. And you're looking to do a boutique type of deal. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. Someone has been talking to you, Lord Frederick.
How can I say?
Should we bring bread and butter into the castle?
Always.
The castle definitely needs some butter, Lord
Castle
Frederick.
will be generating butter like you ain't never seen. I gotta tell you, your product is excellent. I think that you as a chef, even if we somehow figure out how to put that together, would be a home run. And you gotta be careful in this place because we had somebody who came in here one day and she said she dreamed of having her own radio show. And that night, she did it. And the numbers exploded. And she just did her second. We're working on doing something and continuing with her. So you got to be careful what you think and say because it might not be too far in the future.
Hey, manifest it, say it, put it in the universe. That's how you make it happen, Lord Frederick. You got to put it out there.
And it's a new moon still. You got like a plus or minus 3 days on the new moon. So now is your time to bring forth what you desire.
That's, everybody keeps telling me this. I'm going to go play lotto. Listen, I want to call and make a reservation for my booth at your restaurant. So I'm going to call you.
That
I'm going to
sounds
send
like
you
a
a
plan.
text so you can make a reservation. And I'm going to do it from here.
I love it. I love the idea. Here's the thing about butter. Butter pretty much can go on anything, right?
Anything.
So if there were such a thing like a restaurant, we'd be serving butter. You know how who is it? It's one of these restaurants. Every time you go there, like Texas Roadhouse or something, they give you bread and butter. The butter is amazing.
Yep.
Every time you go, it's a staple on the table, bread and butter. You're gonna get it. And then to have your foods infused or topped with all those flavorful butters, it's amazing. Making sandwiches or soups or, oh my gosh, it's great. It's
What
a
about
good
like
idea. I love
brown
it.
sugar cinnamon butter.
Brown sugar. So I don't use sugars. I typically use honey, but so you could have that sweet cinnamon orange, which is sweetened with honey, no sugars. Remember, we're trying to keep it as clean as possible. Brown sugar is not bad, but if I can use honey to get the same effect, unless you're allergic to honey, then I would go with the honey, the sweet cinnamon orange. And if you don't like the orange, we can always take the orange part out and just leave it sweet cinnamon. And you got that same concept. It's the same concept, Don. You got it.
So your low sugar butters.
Yeah, no sugar butters. I don't really put sugar in anything unless it's coming from the fruit that is already sweetened. No sugars are in the butters at all. Only honey sweetens the butter.
So we just gotten someone in touch with us with the Low Sugar Bakery down here in Boca, and they actually sent over dessert yesterday for one of our birthday parties. So I want to get you in touch with them because maybe there's a way. Apparently they do everything. They do catering, they do lunches, and they do great pastries. It's called the Low Sugar Bakery.
That's where you
Oh, I
belong.
love it.
And they're brand new. They just opened up 2 months ago.
Oh, yes. Oh, that sounds amazing. I love it.
So
I
I will
love
get
that.
you, I'll take a picture of their card and I'll send that over to you and you can contact them. That's through this new show, Touched by an Angel. Can you imagine what a great connection that
That
would
could be a nice connection. I'm still
Oh,
hooked
that
up
sounds
on the
awesome.
restaurant. I'm thinking of doing a table, getting one of those boxes, putting it here, and inviting 2 lucky winners, and we'll do a restaurant with different recipes from the chef. We'll dunk and dip and this and that, and we'll get some people in here.
Can
maybe
this
we
be
do
our
it
butter
for-
restaurant set?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I
This
love
is the
that.
butter
That
Do
is
you
restaurant.
like
very-
our set here?
Yeah. And
Yes.
I just
It's
said,
very
you just said-
sexy, Don. I love it. It's very sexy. It's very intimate. I like that. And that's what you need. You need to have that intimate environment, right? So you feel like you are one with the food. You don't have all this other stuff going on. It's beautiful. I love it.
I
Fantastic.
think we can have a whole lot of fun. Again, tell people how you can buy your butter.
You can buy butters at PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com. You can check me out on Instagram and Facebook under that same handle. And of course, you can always go to CrateJoy.com and pick out your butter box and get a monthly subscription.
And Valentine's around the corner.
Around the corner.
So it'd be kind of special where a guy buys a crate and then he cooks dinner for his love with the crate. It's kind of cool.
Very
Very
nice.
special.
Oh, I like that.
But these
Yes.
are unbelievable.
That would warm any
butters.
woman's heart.
Yeah. Even
Thank
the
you so
cold-hearted
much.
ones
I
love it.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Tori, so much. Have fun this weekend. Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods is all about the butter. And just ask Slick. Nothing says love like Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods. Right, Slick?
Yes.
It's like I'll leave you some. So.
Thanks, Tori. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
I got to tell you, every time I turn around, it gets better and better.
Better with butter.
This middle one, where'd that come
That's
from?
the maitre d'herbe.
That thing is explosive.
That is the one that JT bought when he was here.
That is explosive.
That's your steakhouse cowboy. That is your strawberry basil. This is your cranberry. And this is your citrus garlic.
You know, normally I just eat this.
I know.
And I don't try these. But this bad boy, holy smokes.
You like this whole display
I
here,
gotta
right?
tell you, you did really good with the bread.
Thank you.
I think we should have more of this bread made.
I'm going to ask her if we can keep a stock here because it's a whole lot easier than going to the grocery store.
Absolutely. And it took, what, 20, 30 minutes?
45 minutes. Well, once you turned on bake, it's a whole lot faster.
I didn't say it should.
But I learned. There you have it. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, more with our Thankful Throwback Thursday. We've got Justin Mooney of HH&K, estate planning attorney, joining us. It is tax season. He's got all the info on what you need to know,
You wanna
what
hear
you should
this.
know, get your business affairs in order, and your personal affairs.
Some new stuff coming out for the taxes.
Oh, yes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
With enough butter, anything is good. Toyota from Precious Treasures Gourmet Foods can't sing because she single-handedly updated and expanded butter's possibilities. From compound, savory, sweet, and spicy, her freshly made butters aim to please. I don't know about you, but I've never really seen butter this versatile before, and now so feasible. With online shopping, just visit PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com because at Precious Treasures, Tori is working on the best artisan gourmet foods to every table. Remember, guys, true love is like butter. There's no substitute for the real thing.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
Watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I like that.
So we're back.
I feel like all we do is eat on the set.
It's not we eating, we're having popcorn because we got a lot of it.
A lot of popcorn. How was the bread and butter?
It's pretty good. I hate to admit it, but you did good. How is it? Good?
Slick says it's great. I love it.
And that's the gluten-free bread from Coley's Crumbs. So easy. You open it up, put it in, bake it for 45 minutes, and it's done. And it's gluten-free, so easy.
And look, I'm not sneezing.
And you're not sneezing.
What a surprise.
How do you feel? Maybe you should go gluten-free.
How do I feel? I'm upset.
You're sick?
Upset.
Why?
Because all this time they were telling me I was allergic to things. I can eat them. I'm just allergic to gluten.
You're allergic to the gluten. There's like a protein in it.
Baby.
She's going to walk
Come this
around.
way.
She doesn't want to be on air.
No, you're going to walk all the way around Mount Everest when you come across. This would be Alana's arm that you're about to see.
Have you started doing your taxes for the year?
Me? Not yet. I haven't even looked at them.
Yeah, me neither. There's piles of papers. But people are starting to do it, and we've got Justin Mooney coming in from HH&K to talk about it as you and I eat popcorn. Get your mini donut order in ASAP for Super Bowl. So I'm going to send that in, and you can do it all online at minidonutworld.com. They've got a great variety pack. I hope they deliver on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm assuming they're going to because it's going to be a busy day.
I have some breaking news.
Yeah?
Jill may be coming over for Super Bowl week.
It's interesting. I heard that whole conversation going on yesterday. And I have to tell you, sometimes I'm in more agreement with your sons than I am with you.
No, you're not.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Not all the time, but there are things that sometimes they say that sound like me.
You have to learn to pick your battle.
I don't always agree with that.
No, you just battle no matter what.
No, I do pick my battles, but some things to me are more important, so I choose.
Do you have a favorite son?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't ask who. I said, do you have a favorite son?
Well, I picked up a daughter yesterday. Barry thinks that Alana's my daughter.
He was so confused.
He was very convinced.
We convinced.
I don't think we look alike to be that.
You don't have to look alike. You look like your mother.
They have similar mannerisms.
Mother Dawn.
Mother Dawn.
First of all,
Mother Dawn and Father Freddie.
First of all, you like.
People used to call him Father Fred. You remember?
They used to. Now I'm Sir Frederick.
Lord.
Lord.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So am I being a lord or a sir?
Lord. Your lordship.
I gotta tell you something. Alana, sense of humor, typically is a little bit out there. She has quick wit.
She's quick.
Oh my God, she can tie your shoes before you take them off.
If I tease my mom and Doreen, then I'm going to change my talent to comedy for Miss Florida.
Or she could. Comedy for Miss Florida.
It depends on what end of the joke you are on. When you're not at the end of her joke, it's great. But when you're at the end, you sort of scratch your head and go, Even Slick was having a conversation with me the other way, and he's talking to her and says, what's wrong with you? Man, she's fast. I go, that happened yesterday. He says, I know.
I just realized this. So Jay Harmon was in yesterday. He wasn't in yesterday. He came over to bring his latest colored pencil piece of Rustic America, and we did a trade out in the parking lot. So he gave me his new painting. I gave him some birthday cake. And remember you were saying he looked different? Mm-hmm. I couldn't figure out what was different. You said his mustache was a little bit fuller.
Something.
It was something, right? What do you think it was? Because I just realized what it was.
His hair. He changed it. He combed it to the right. No? What?
His beard is gone.
Oh, he doesn't have a beard.
He always had a beard. So I was thinking he never had a mustache. But I'm looking at the picture behind you. Now he does not have a beard, so he's changed it. But this is his latest of Rustic America. This is very, to me, very notebookish. Did you ever see the movie The Notebook?
Who hasn't?
Okay, right? And they're in this farm, and a farm that you would probably never hang out in unless you're truly romantically in love. So this could be your whole notebook-ish Valentine's Day gift to that special someone that never saw it coming.
What was the name of that show where the guy had black hair? He died. It was a big shock when he died. Little House on the Prairie?
Michael Landon?
Yeah.
Or that.
That's what this reminds me of.
Or Dorothy in Kansas. I mean, yet there's so many things this could remind you of. He said he's always wanted to do portraits of America. And as the tornadoes came through last month, he said he was definitely inspired to put a piece of this America back together. Pretty nice, right?
I have a shed like that if he wants to go paint out of it.
So all of this is for sale. Everything you see here, the painting behind me, I'm very excited to say that artist Gina Presser will be back in studio tonight live at 7:30 doing her show, talking about weight loss and health. And I'm hoping she's a little transparent and talks about why she hasn't been on air for a month, because I think it's really important to what it is, talking about better health, better you, all of those things.
True that.
She still has some complications going on with it, which is really
I didn't know
a
that.
shame. She just texted us. But whatever you need to get back in here. So this piece behind me is from the art of Gina Presser, and the balloons are from Lady Ashley Party Planning. I love these little ones. I think these are going to last like forever.
If you come into the studio, you'll see that the whole crown of this place is covered in balloons.
Which is really pretty amazing, right?
Very amazing.
So you seem to have a lot of information, a lot of things going on.
I'm eating popcorn and enjoying the show.
You know how they say choose your words wisely?
Do they?
So apparently there is a situation in Syria overnight.
Yes.
And this lead person is no longer in, what was the word they used? It was very interesting. He's no longer like on the game plank, on the something. It's just, he's no longer part of the game, I guess.
What, the terrorist that was taken out?
Yeah, that one.
But
Blew up his family, allegedly.
6 women, 4 children, or the other way around.
But how quick they are to blame us. Anyway, I don't really know. I was not there, thankfully, but interesting. Here's your football. 6 points instead of 5 in 1912 is when the game of football changed.
Yes, because they couldn't count to 6 fast enough.
Don't you wonder, like, who came up with that idea? 6, 5, 7, 12.
Now, I got to ask, Slick, you're Mr.
Football?
Mr. Football. Is the drop kick still in play in the NFL?
It's illegal. What's the drop kick?
Can't be illegal. Maybe that doesn't count for 2 points anymore. The drop kick was if
Like
the
a 2-point
quarterback
conversion?
or somebody took it and they kicked it. Like in that other sport that football is very familiar.
Soccer?
No,
Rugby?
like rugby. If you kick it between the goalposts, you get 2 points. It's called a drop kick.
It's illegal?
It's not illegal. Is that illegal? Justin, is that illegal?
I'm not huge on football, but yeah, I'm gonna go with what Slick said.
That's scary.
Oh my God.
When we just go with, we're going to go with what Slick said, you know it's a Thursday late afternoon.
We have to look that up. If you know the answer to that, give me a call.
888-994-4995, Studio A. Say hi to Slick. He is our football connoisseur. You ready to get into the show? We've been eating for the past hour now.
Yes.
Bread, butter, popcorn.
We're going to get Mooney some popcorn.
And now we're going to go moving into some donuts. I don't think we've got any donuts in here yet today, right? No?
No donuts today.
How's your wife feeling?
She feels struggling. She's on the struggle bus.
How far along is she?
Tomorrow will be 36 weeks.
Oh, yes. One
Yeah.
more month to go.
So she has 8 months.
Yeah, 8 months in.
Well, you're now officially on the watch.
Yeah.
Was it going to happen any day, any minute of the day?
Yeah, she's like in this what to expect like forum, and there's so many like early March expecting mothers that are having them early, and she's like, kind of want to have him early, so then can start doing everything else, and she can like get on the road to recovery and start feeling normal rather than feeling like a huge pregnant person.
You never feel the same again, ever, for the rest of your life as a mom, because once you get pregnant, that worry button starts.
Yeah.
That instant you get that positive, you're in mom mode. And it continues through the rest of perpetuity.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's the same for dads.
No, we just show up every once in a while.
I'm assuming it's the same for dads, but I always wonder what it would be like to be your kid. I'm going to ask them.
You saw him, you should have asked him.
I'm going to ask him what it was like.
He's never going to tell you the truth in front of me. I got to be not in the room or not in the building.
I'm going to ask them both because I know I'm going to get 2 different answers from them. Maybe they'll be similar.
We were talking about that yesterday, some of the bad things that I made him do. Like he got in trouble in school and they gave him 1-day suspension. So I told the principal, you get 1 day and I get 2. So they suspended him for 3 days. And he's like, whose side are you on? I says, I'm on the side of right, and what you did was wrong. And he still remembers it.
Well, I love that he came in and he said Rowan, right? Because you're going to have Rowan also.
Yeah.
Rowan, now Freddie's grandson Rowan is the sweetest little,
like
beautiful child. Like it could do no wrong in a grandparent's
For
eyes,
now.
right? But apparently he did something in school that was not right. So he comes in yesterday. He says, "We need to talk because he's going to get punished tonight." And we're thinking, how can you punish this cute little child?
Is he 3 or 4?
He'll be 4 next month. How can you? He says, well, because he pushed somebody. And we said, why'd you do that? And he says, I don't know. But can you just imagine that sweet little face saying, but Pop, I don't know.
You don't punish the kid.
You
okay?
and I would be like the worst grandparents
I
because there would
told
be
him,
no
let me
discipline
talk-
whatsoever.
Let me talk to your son. Because obviously, though, you think you're a keen father, you got a long way to go. Because if you're going to get mad at the age of 4 for him pushing a little girl,
you should never push a little girl.
Yeah, I understand that, but to him, maybe he likes her.
Like what happened?
Maybe he likes her, he wants her attention, and a quick push. Listen, the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
you have to raise your kid. If he's doing that at like 18 or something, that's on him.
Oh, that's on purpose.
Yeah.
But this, I said to him, you can't do that because, and then it begins the antitrust button.
Yeah.
And I can't tell Dad nothing. And you don't want to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
So you're on.
I think my wife had read something about some father that wrote this note that was like, bring this to me. If there's ever something that's really hard for you to tell me, and I promise I won't be mad. So if there was ever something like that, they would, the girl would like bring that to her father and be like, okay, now I need to like tell you something bad that happened so you won't get mad, that kind of thing. And I don't know,
That's kind of cool.
I feel like in the last probably 5 years, parenting has had this huge dynamic shift towards like the more emotional aspect of it. Not necessarily like, I think there's always like some of those parents that were like, oh, I just want to be my child's friend, that didn't work out, but now this is just more of like opening up communication and validating feelings, like those kind of things.
You cannot be your child's friend.
No.
I'll tell you that right off the bat.
But you have to be someone they trust.
Yes. And validating feelings.
And one of the things is that children never want to disappoint their parents.
Yeah.
That's another word of saying, I don't want my parents peed off at me.
What do they, it's like when parents say, I'm not mad at you, I'm disappointed.
Right.
Which is worse.
Which is what they end up taking with them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Yep, you got to choose those words very wisely.
And the object of the game is that if you're a parent and you're talking to your kid, just remember that you're telling them to walk the straight line just like you did. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And every time I look at a parent, like there was a time we played a football team in Van Cortlandt Park, and they had the top running back in the city, and this kid was 12. And his father ripped his helmet off his head because we beat him, and he's screaming at him and everything else. And this guy was a monster. This guy was like 6'8", he looked like he was a lineman for the Eagles. And he looks at me, he says, what? And I said to him, if you want him to succeed, this ain't the way to do it.
Yeah.
And he says, well, you should mind your business. And I looked at the little boy, I says, can I talk to you? And he says, yeah, because he was getting the heat from his father. And so his father calms down, and we had a conversation. You know, you want him to be a super athlete, pounding on him ain't going to do it. And sometimes you're too close to the flame, so it takes a village to bring up children. Man, but you know something? God bless you. I have 100 more. But the first one, that ride, is like you ain't never done as a dad in your life, no matter what you do.
It's funny because I saw Freddie, and they're your grandsons. They're not mine, but yet I could feel this. I'm going to adopt them as this adoptive grandmother. And I said, how could you be upset with Rowan? I mean, look at little Rowan, right?
And he'll come in here and say, Papa, Daddy yells at me. I go, well, let's talk about it. You know,
Oh my
this
gosh.
is a little kid. He's intelligent.
Hey, melt your heart.
And there's a reason why children do what they do. You just got to find out what it is without going through this whole. I mean, Freddie's all buffing up and he's all in trouble. This is what is wrong with you? The 4-year-old kid.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we've got Justin Mooney, HHK.com, HHNK. We're going to talk about estate planning, all the new tax laws that are happening, things that you need to know. Get everything in place.
Get a pen and a piece of paper.
Give them a call. Give us a call or write in at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Justin Mooney is special counsel at the Florida office of Hinman, Howard & Cattell Attorneys. Justin's practice focuses on tax, estate planning, guardianship, probate, and trust administration. His passion is to provide clients with sophisticated estate plans which carry out their wishes, reduce any potential taxes, and preserve wealth for future generations. The attorneys of Hinman, Howard & Cattell provide first-class legal services and have achieved a reputation for excellence for over a century, staying on the leading edge of the law. When you need representation or legal counsel, contact Justin Mooney at 561-276-1008 or jmooney@hhk.com.
Attention Florida residents. Is constant water damage from the elements putting holes in your pipes and your wallet? We cut the cost when disaster strikes. You deserve to have your house be a home again. At Triumph, we get you paid the most for your insurance claims. Broken pipes, water damage, and mold? Triumph Consulting covers it all. Call our offices now to qualify for a free house inspection at 954-669-4935 or visit www.wegetYouPaid.com.
Creative, enchanting, whimsical. Artist Gina Bella is always creating artwork based on real stories and emotions. Expressed through Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clay, her feelings and stories come to life. Complete with glittery diamond dust over paintings and pottery, Gina Bella is always creating new pieces and commissions. You can find her work in staging homes, family Christian bookstores, New Jersey boutiques, and the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery, where she offers personal guided tours of her latest art pieces. Gina can also be found hosting weekend art camps, where she teaches adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. For more information on Gina Bella and her art, contact livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or give a call to 954 857 5444.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe.
Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. On fire. Let's move your body, move it. On fire. Move your body, groove it. Move your body, move it. On fire. Shake your hips.
Running the board, very nice.
Very nice.
Can I do it?
Nope. I mean, you can. I can keep looking for it, yes. Or we can talk to Justin.
Let's talk to Justin.
We've got Justin Mooney joining us of HHK, Hinman, Howard, and Cattell, attorneys at law, joining us. Well, there's a whole lot of changes I heard happening in 2020. I want to say 2023 because it's really 2022, but we're going to be putting in 2021 taxes, so it gets a little confusing on timing.
Yeah.
Why all the changes?
Tax-wise, the main reason is to generate more revenue for the government.
Sure.
The other reason is to affect social change. The tax code is mainly used to manipulate everyone into doing certain things. Like in 2017, they included this Section 199A, where if you were self-employed or had profits from a business that you ran, you get a 20% discount on your income tax for those things. So it encourages people to be their own boss rather than being W-2 employees, that kind of thing, or be independent contractor.
Did they take that away, or is it still in
No,
place?
it's still in effect. It was at the end of 2017 when they enacted it, so it's been around for 5 tax years now. Yeah.
Then you told me that they are going to now start charging a tax if you use a Cash App or something.
Well, what I saw was Venmo, PayPal. I didn't see anything about Cash App. They're going to start sending the companies, PenPal and Venmo and PayPal are going to be sending out 1099s to the people that were paid as businesses. Instead of the $20,000 limit it was before, anything above $600 for the next, not for 2021 filings, for 2022 filings, which will be April of 2023.
But I have to ask a question. If they're going to do that, then why are they hitting you with a 3.9% surcharge?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, so the surcharge is so they can get paid, but then the tax form that they're sending out is just them reporting who's paying who. Because like a lot of when I use Venmo, it's someone else paid for brunch or someone else, paid for gas on a road trip, something like that. But I've used like Zelle and Venmo to pay like an electrician to come out to my house to install some new wiring or fix plumbing and those sort of things. So prior to the enactment of that, those people could have avoided the IRS knowing about those certain payments and avoid paying tax on that, or evade paying tax on that is probably a better term if they weren't reporting it. So that's just a new way of the IRS collecting information from all these third parties to make sure that people are properly reporting all the income that they receive.
Now, Zelle came out and said they are not part of this because the way their app is structured, it's not a third-party app. It's
you
through
use like your bank account.
It's through your bank. So if you're paying people through Zelle, this is as of now, from what I heard, they will not be a party to it. It's the third-party app.
But what if you're getting money from Zelle? They're putting it into your bank account.
Zelle's not going to report anything.
You know,
because it's like a transfer of funds on your bank.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
And then it all came up, well, what about babysitters, right? Babysitters make a lot of money. Babysitters sometimes make $100 a night. So $600 for a babysitter could be a month's worth of work.
Yeah.
Kids who do lemonade stands or car washes, all these things for kids.
You're going to tax a kid?
Well, that's the question. Are you going to tax the kid? Well, theoretically, they say you can tax the kids. However, they're like the IRS isn't going to be looking at this, and it's about how you put it in. Is it business or is it personal? There's a whole lot of still caveats, and I'm not sure if it's passed or not, but it's a lot of chit-chat about
I don't think
it.
it's passed yet. Well, what's interesting, there's a very strong libertarian argument for not taxing anyone under 18 because they legally can't vote, and so it's taxation without representation.
Oh,
but
wow.
I don't think the IRS cares about that. Any income that you receive, they're going to tax.
But that is cute.
Yeah.
The
Well,
lemonade stand.
So it's interesting. D.C., the District of Columbia, gets no real representation in the government, but they still have to pay taxes. So if you ever in D.C. take a look at their license plates, they say taxation without representation.
Really?
Is their little way of protesting against. Yeah, they have, because their city budget is determined by the federal government. They don't get their own say in it.
Isn't it so interesting that DC does not, why have they not come together and say, and unified as a district to get representation?
It's because it would be 2 more blue votes, and it's going to be very hard to convince the majority of the rest of the federal government to allow that, because it would allow less of a swing towards red changes.
Interesting. I gotta tell you, it's all very political, as they say, which it
Yeah.
really is very political.
Now, there was a Democrat that just had a heart attack, and the blue swingers are all crazy about, because he's not going to be represented when he comes out of this heart procedure, right? Why the big deal? I thought that the Blues had the Senate. Is it a tie?
There's some blue senators and other, congressional members that are blue in name only. Like I think one of them is like Senator. I'm thinking of Manchin. I think he's in California. Has voted
Republican.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of like lobbyists.
So this could be a
in
problem.
his pocket. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, tax-wise, changes. I saw that the Biden administration, they're not giving out the $300 a kid, $600 a family anymore. Is that done?
I'm not sure if it's
I think
passed
that's.
yet.
I think that stopped. I think
Yeah.
it stopped in January or the end of 2021.
Now, all that money that the government gave you for having children, which is absurd.
But now
They
it's
gave you
reported
that-
income.
You have to report that as income, right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Usually that's something that your CPA will be able to tell you if you look at it. It depends on what it was paid under, because I think there were some advanced tax credits that they gave for children. So basically, if you got an advanced tax credit, when you file your
You can
taxes
wash.
the following year, you just won't get a credit for it on
Gotcha.
Right.
those taxes. It was like an advance. Of a
Right, you
tax
got it early.
refund Is a way to think about it.
And also the stipends that they give out, the $600, $1,200, whatever the hell you got, is that reported income?
No.
I don't think it was reported as income. I think it was just just a stimulus check that everyone got.
And you can't report that as income.
It's not reportable. It's like the loans, the SBA loans are non-taxable income either.
Well, you had to apply for the tax, whatever, the forgiveness program.
That's different. That's PPP. But all the money we got
PPP,
through the
yeah.
stimulus,
What about
none of that.
PPP?
Nope. That's not reported income
How do
either.
you know so much about taxes? Since when you become Captain Tax?
We got a business.
Yeah.
We got a business, and then you wonder why I'm always sick to my stomach, because you got these things that enter my brain, and you think, oh, I got to look it up. I got to find the answers, but you don't. You can actually call Justin Mooney, and he can help you with the answers to alleviate so much of the stress and worry. You don't have to worry about Dr. Google or what anybody else says. You get the answers.
Well, what I like about Justin is that you're not only going to get answers, but you're going to get a blueprint on what to do for next year.
Yeah.
Because people mess up, and then they come see you, and they bring you this trash. And they say, can you make this trash dinner? And you look and you say maybe in a year because you have a whole lot of cleanup to do. The bookkeeping, and I was never a believer of that till I met you, and everything that has to be done and done correctly, right? You want to plan to grow, but you want to plan to grow correctly. That's what I like about Justin.
Yeah.
He puts it so you can understand it in English. See, I don't speak much English.
I want to ask you a question, though. As this conversation came up in my house, and I didn't have the right answers, but I knew you have the answers. People invested in real estate, and right now there's a huge real estate boom. If you sell real estate and you have an LLC that it was purchased under,
Yeah.
when you go to file your taxes for that year, the LLC files separate taxes than you do personally? Because now you've got this balloon of money coming in potentially.
Yeah, like all lawyers answer, it depends. So an LLC is not a classification that the IRS recognizes, which means if you can have an LLC that's treated as a disregarded entity. So if you're just running it by yourself, you can just report the LLC's activities on your Schedule C on your Form 1041 income tax return. Or it could be a corporation, and then you would need to file an 1120 as the C corporation or an 1120S if it's an S corporation. And if you're partnered with someone else, you can have it treated as a partnership. So it depends on if you just set up an LLC and you didn't get a separate tax ID number and it's just you running it, you're going to report it on your individual income tax return.
It's just like you reporting it.
But if you have a separate tax ID number, when that money comes in, when you sell a property, because you had talked about if you're buying multiple properties, you don't want to put those properties in your personal.
Yeah.
You want to put it under a corporation of some sort. So when that money comes to fruition, it stays in a separate account. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, you're going to want to treat it as a separate legal entity when you have your LLC. Even if it's an LLC and it doesn't have a separate tax ID number, you'd want to treat it, you'd want to have, XYZ LLC bank account with your, local credit union or bank, and have the funds separate from your money, until you make a distribution from that LLC. But if you did sell property this year and you don't want to pay tax, you can look into doing what's called a 1031 exchange, where you basically sell a capital asset and purchase a new one that's similar, and you basically stall when you're going to pay the capital gains on that asset.
It's a lot of interesting things that are going on, and people are buying. How many friends do we have? We had someone in here yesterday. He sold his property in Miami. He's selling his property in his home country, and then he's got all of this going on, and then he's going to be buying a new property. So he's got U.S. tax law, I think. Now, if you're not a U.S. citizen and you're here under a visa or different tax laws, if you own a property,
it's going to be the same. If you have a visa here, and you're treated as a resident, you're going to be paying tax on things that arise from U.S. assets. You're not going to be paying tax on foreign assets that are being sold and traded unless you're a U.S. citizen or full-time resident.
A lot of
So let me ask you a question. If I sell a house, and my capital gain is $600,000, and I buy a house,
Yeah.
using the same $600,000, and it cost me $550,000. No, let's say it cost me $600,000.
Yeah.
Is that a wash?
Yeah. And if it's your homestead,
yes.
So if it's your primary residence and you sell it and you've been living there and you've treated it as your primary residence for 2 of the last 5 years, you can get an exclusion of the gain of $250,000. And if you're married, it's $500,000.
Exclude that's right off the top?
Yeah, so me and my wife, if we have a
Yeah.
home that's $1 million property and we have $500,000 of gain in it,
Yeah.
but we've used it as our primary residence for the past 2 years and we sell it for $1 million and the gain is $500,000, that exclusion wipes it out. We can do whatever we want with that million. We don't have to buy a new homestead and do a 1031 exchange.
Interesting.
But if you buy a house for $300,000, not knowing you're going to sell it for $1.2 million, not knowing, and here you have $1.2 million minus the $300,000, right? That's your capital gains. And then you buy a $400,000 or $500,000 house off that money, you still have to pay the tax on the difference.
Yeah, if you're doing a 1031 exchange, then it would just be the excess profit that you made from the first one.
Do you subtract the 250?
If it was used as your primary residence, then you can do that.
But then you've got
I'm
homestead.
gonna treat you to dinner. You just made me smile. Do you understand what he just said? You just went through that. I don't know how you sold it. Can't tell you how you sold it, but what he's talking to me about is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Then you've got different property tax, portability. There's a whole lot of things on homesteads.
Yeah.
What you take from one house when you buy another one, and the value of it.
It's
It
that
gets
capital
complicated.
gains tax, man. That's a killer.
But I didn't realize that 500,000 of the capital gains was taken off.
If you bought
Yeah,
it,
if it's your primary residence.
if it's your primary, which it is for you.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
good news.
huge.
That's good news. That should make you smile.
Yes.
You should be doing the jig.
I should be doing the jig. I should have more popcorn. All right, we need to go to commercial break because when we come back, we've got more information coming to you from Justin Mooney, HHK. We've talked taxes. Now we got to talk about putting your legal paperwork in place, just so you know, in case of an emergency. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Justin Mooney is special counsel of the Florida office of Hinman, Howard & Cattell Attorneys. Justin's practice focuses on tax, estate planning, guardianship, probate, and trust administration. His passion is to provide clients with sophisticated estate plans which carry out their wishes, reduce any potential taxes, and preserve wealth for future generations. The attorneys of Hinman, Howard & Cattell provide first-class legal services and have achieved a reputation for excellence for over a century, staying on the leading edge of the law. When you need representation or legal counsel, contact Justin Mooney at 561-276-1008 or jmooney@hhk.com.
Have you been injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or through the negligence of another? The lawyers at Shane M. Farnsworth, PA have over 40 years of combined experience representing injured individuals and their families. Call us today at 561-272-8337 for a free case evaluation and the answers to your legal questions. Were you injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Don't let the insurance companies take advantage of you. Contact us now to learn about your options and to protect your rights.
Attention Florida residents. Is constant water damage from the elements putting holes in your pipes and your wallet? We cut the cost when disaster strikes. You deserve to have your house be a home again. At Triumph, we get you paid the most for your insurance claims. Broken pipes, water damage, and mold? Triumph Consulting covers it all. Call our offices now to qualify for a free house inspection at 954-669-4935 or visit www.wegetYouPaid.com.
Once a professional musician, artist Steven Zwern uses his creativity through multimedia artistic expression. His compositions use acrylic paint to create 3D masterpieces. Steven's fascination with brilliant colors and intriguing patterns with jewels and rhinestones entices the eye with color and dimension. For more information on the artwork of Steven Zwern, contact Steven at 914-656-9060 or stevenzwirn.com. Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie X.
That is 100% true,
And
I
we're
got to
back.
tell you.
You know, we're talking taxes, and this portion of the show.
Brought to you by Triumph Consulting. 1 second. Too much popcorn.
As we talk about Triumph Consulting, and we're drowning. Water. You get water on
Popcorn
your,
kernels.
You get water on your foundation, and your house is on the water. Called Triumph, because Triumph GetYouPaid.com will get you paid.
WeGetYouPaid.com. It's too much. Take the popcorn away. You can't eat popcorn while you're on a set.
Now,
Sorry.
did you guys see what happened at the building that fell?
The one in Miami?
Yeah, it came out the reason why. Did you see that?
No.
Come on. Remember when I saw the picture with the pool and the hole? And I said, Dawn, where did those 200,000 gallons go? That's what brought down the building. Something snapped, it went down, it flooded, they made the hole, and that building went right into that sinkhole. So, lesson to the wise, if you got a pool, make sure they inspect the pool, not the building.
No, it's just a disaster all the way around on that. I want to talk to Justin about estate planning. Sometimes I wish there were, as I was doing our title for today's show about estate planning, it makes you sound like, not you, but when people are doing their estate plan, like, wow, I've got money, then estate plan. There are people that don't have, in their mindset, an estate, but yet everyone should put these documents in place.
Yeah, even if you have nothing, you still have your person and your health, and you want to establish at least some healthcare documents or a living will stating who's going to make the decisions for you if you're incapacitated, or if you wish to have the plug pulled, if you're brain dead, for lack of a better word.
Pulled.
Yeah. But a lot of people, like, I have clients that all they have is a couple bank accounts with, a couple $1,000s in it and a car. They can just say who they want it to go to in a will. It's very simple. And that's the great thing is in the estate planning world, there's not a whole lot of changes. And usually the changes that happen are for people who don't plan. Like they change how things go if you don't have a will. But if you have a will, it's not going to affect you. Or they change certain things with how healthcare decisions are made. But if you make those decisions and put them in writing and have them signed and you give them to the people who need to be making those decisions, then you're covered. You're kind of future-proofing yourself. The only reason I update documents for my clients is if their relationships change, if they have someone new in their life that they trust more with making the financial decisions or the healthcare decisions, or they want certain assets to go to a different person or give one person more. Those are the changes that I make. It's not like, there's some new estate case where this person got this and this. No, it's not really something that I update my documents with and tell clients you need to update your will because this happened.
Because we're always talking about big numbers like 11.6 million and things over that. Not everyone has that type of money, clearly, but everyone should have these documents in place.
Yeah, I think the estate tax affects less than 0.1% of people dying.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's not, the estate tax isn't something that you need to worry about unless you have significant money. Or if your parents have significant money and you expect an inheritance someday, then you'll have to do some planning. Or if you can convince them to do some planning and put items in trust and avoid the estate tax, upon second death. So what happens a lot of times is I have a client that has, $10-15 million, and when they die, it gets taxed, whatever amount is over that. I usually recommend putting it in trust, because if it goes into a trust, it gets taxed once there and continues on without getting hit with the estate tax again. What I see happen sometimes is the person just says, oh, I just want my property to go to my kid. So then your kid gets $10 million after the taxes are paid, and then when they die, they get hit with that estate tax again for any amount that's over that.
if you have a business
Yeah.
and you want to keep that business going forever, so my example, I have hemp, and I have insurance, let's say, for $250,000 or $500,000. I don't feel like dishing money out to my kids. I want to put it into the business.
Mhm.
And if you work the business, you get paid, but it forces them to keep the business generating and going and growing.
Yeah.
That to me makes a whole lot of sense than giving my kid $250,000 and he's not going to do anything smart with it anyway.
Yeah.
With all due respect, I just don't see that. But can I do something like that in trust with the funds going
yeah.
there?
If you want to, have a legacy created, a trust is going to be the way to go, and make sure that you have specific terms in place as to, you're encouraging your kids to be involved in the business. Otherwise, they're not really going to get anything. It's something that can be drafted.
That's interesting.
You can pretty much draft anything.
Yeah.
As long as it's written down, you're good to go.
There's a few things you can't do. Usually if it's against public policy. Like there's old cases where someone would be like, if my son marries someone from a different religious background, he doesn't get his inheritance. And it was basically struck down saying that it would encourage people to, continue to be bigots, essentially, just for getting their inheritance.
Wow. But if you're talking maybe single parents, or people that don't have a lot of money,
Yeah.
but yet they still need someone to make those healthcare decisions.
Yeah.
They want to protect whatever assets they have.
Right.
Still, you should call Justin, because it's not just for the very, very wealthy. It's for people who just want to make sure all their wishes and their documents are in place.
Yeah.
Different price points for people. I want people to feel comfortable calling you and not saying, oh my gosh, I can't afford this. I'm
Yeah.
barely making my payments, but I know I need these documents.
Yeah, so usually it depends on how complex the documents are. I have clients that I'm doing a revocable trust and irrevocable trust and a lot of tax planning. The bill gets significant.
Well, that's different,
But if
right?
I'm doing something that's a basic estate plan with just all your healthcare and durable power of attorney documents and then a will, it's fairly inexpensive.
It keeps it simple.
It is, and some of the things about the estate stuff is that money can be invested. So all of a sudden, you're putting that money away in there, whatever, and then when the other money hits, it has investment vehicles to it as well. And it's just the right way of doing business to take care. When you have kids, if you leave one kid a dollar more than the other, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then family gets really offended because, oh, you didn't leave me. I mean, it's really tricky. But if you leave it where it's all in there, and they got to do something to go get it, and it's generating its own wealth, I'm beginning to like this idea.
Are you learning a lot?
Oh my God! Every time this guy comes, I learn something.
But how does that make you feel?
Powerful. I got to tell you something. I love my kids. I would do anything for them. But the bottom line here is that I got to do the right thing for them. I can't expect them to think that their way is the right way. Their way is the other way. And because he's having a baby, it just brings back all these times I had Freddie and then I had Gio. And to leave it, you want to leave it right where they don't hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And let it grow. And be smart about it because they have their own kids. And you make it grow. This is what my father taught me in Puerto Rico. I want to thank you for that phone number, by the way.
Of course.
Because I want to do the same thing with the properties. They left it to me and my sister and my nephew. What am I going to do? None of my kids want to be there, but if I leave it in some kind of trust, some kind of will, some kind of something, get a net worth to it, then you grow within your own family. And I got to tell you something. I learned this from a Jewish man, Mr. Doug Harvey, when I was 21 in the bowling business. And he taught me if you take your assets and you turn them inwards and you watch how it grows. Don't wait for the outside to generate your interest. Do it from the inside because there ain't nobody like family.
True.
And my son yesterday, I talked to him about that. I says, bro, you got to be smart about this because I'm not thinking about him. I'm thinking about Rowan and Joey and the other one.
Bracken.
And Brecken, Mr. Bazooka.
Yes.
because it's their future that I have to worry about from here to another 50, 60 years.
Yes.
Well, what do they say? It's you have to raise your children so you can spoil your grandchildren.
That's right.
Because if you spoil your kids, you're going to be raising your grandkids.
That's right, but that's the truth. And all of a sudden, all these things they used to tell me when I was a kid, I used to think, get out of here. I was a millennial, oh, please, give me a break. But it becomes really important to do the right thing. It ain't about doing things. It's not about just calling Justin. Anybody could do that. But put a plan in place.
Yeah.
Talk to this guy. He actually will give you some insight. And if you're carrying life in your head and you understand what you want to accomplish, this is the man give you. I learned 3 things from him today.
You know, the other thing is people think you can go online, you're going to save the convenience fee, right? But sometimes you go online and all you do is muddy it up. Like, I need a new phone. Well, if you go online to the server, you don't have to pay the $30. That $30 is so well worth my time because I still couldn't figure it out online. It's worth the small investment to know that you're going to do it right. Not the papers, not the legal.coms, whatever it is. Call Justin, get it done right. It is well worth your time because your time has value to it. Get it done right. Put it in place.
And play the
honestly.
Play the smart game, is what I'm saying.
Work
Be
smarter,
smart
not
about
harder, right?
Well, you know something? Everybody that fills out a tax return, you have a story. Everybody who's a father or a mother, you got a story. You got to sort of put this together so it makes sense to you, the IRS, and your future. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you haven't been watching this show long enough. I got to tell you, I've had a tax guy in my life. I had him for 12 years. I took him to dinner. I was godfather to his kid. This guy, everything I did in my life, in business, I relied on his expertise. And just like you, he would give me a nugget once a month. And this thing today with the 250 and a half, because I'm in the process of all that craziness going on, you already went through it. Did you know half the stuff he talked about?
I did not know. What I did know is they told us based on what you had done to the old house, you know, repairs and modifies things. Capital improvements come off of the capital gains, and you kind of got to figure that out. But if you have a significant capital gains, how many? I don't know, maybe a lot of people do that many home improvements. You got to figure out what to do with that money to, so this 500 I did not know about.
Yeah, I think that's probably, one of the reasons is avoiding significant bookkeeping. So like if me and my wife just spent like $5,000 to $10,000 on repairing our home, but then we're gonna, have $500,000 of exemption, we avoid having to keep track of all that stuff. I think the IRS is, trying to throw you a bone here.
What is that called?
It's called the personal residence gain exclusion, is what you can type into Google and it'll pull up the code section.
Don't call this guy. Let me ask you a question. I take a second on my house, right, from its value, because the value.
I'm gonna write that down.
You're gonna write it down?
Yes.
And let me know if you need spelling help.
Okay.
So I take a second, and I open up a business. And the business makes money. So do I have to pay number one tax on the second?
Wait, pay tax on?
The second. I took a second mortgage.
Yeah.
So do I have to pay tax on that?
No, because it's a loan.
Okay, that's the point I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
Loans are not taxable.
Yeah, unless they're forgiven. And it's called cancellation of indebtedness
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
If they're forgiven?
Yeah. Then you got to pay it as a gain if they're forgiven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. What did I tell you? So now the business that's making money, you pay gains on that, like normal, taxes on that. But if I pay the loan back on the second, do I get something for paying the loan back out of the business and creating that circle?
Well, so you can deduct the interest payments.
Okay.
But not the principal payments.
So that stays the same no matter as an expense to the business?
So the expense is going to be, you start out this business and you take out a loan or a mortgage, that second mortgage of $200,000.
Right.
You're in the whole $200,000 and you're operating at a loss until you pay it all back.
Right. So that's a loan against the business.
Yeah.
Which is deducted.
Yeah.
You paying attention?
Yes.
It's important. A lot of people don't know that. You go and they don't realize that you have a loan against your business and you're trying to pay it back. It came from your house. and it's a loan, so you're not paying tax there. And because you're 200,000, now you can take that 200,000 and stretch it over years. Is that the way it works?
Yeah, it depends on how long you're paying it for.
So you have deductions.
Yeah.
Which is
'Cause it's
vital to a
it's all about
business.
your cash flow. So if you have, your monthly payments, if you have $10,000 coming in each month and your loan payments are $10,000,
It's a wash.
yeah, it's a wash.
And if you made $120,000 and after that's your gross, and then your net is 50,000, do I subtract the loan from the 50 or from the 120?
You talking about from your gross?
Yes.
Yeah, you subtract all your payments.
I feel like I'm
So if
playing
you're
Wordle
if you're
online.
operating as a cash basis taxpayer, you're going to keep track of all your incoming
correct.
and your expenditures. And so if you're paying, $100,000 in the loans, you're going to deduct it from your gross.
Correct. All I gotta tell you is you gotta call Justin. You understand? I know you don't understand because I'm making it complicated to see where Justin falls. Talk to the man. He has a plan. He understands what you're saying. There's a lot of people that had to make adjustments during this period.
Yeah.
So if you tell him your story, there might be some tax relief that he can help you with along the way. That happens to be a scenario for somebody that I know, and I'm hoping that he's watching because you just gave him the answers right there. He should call you.
Yeah.
Ralphie, you should call him. He's in Miami.
What is the best way for people to contact you?
They can email me at jmooney@hhk.com, or they can call my office at 561-276-1008. And for all estate planning, I do, for all the listeners of the show, I do a free document review if you haven't updated your documents in a while, or free consultation to see what you need.
Important stuff.
Very
learn a lot.
important stuff.
We got to do a seminar.
Yeah.
We got to put a seminar together. Now that it's getting close to tax time.
Yeah.
How to file correctly. And if you've been affected by the pandemic, do you have a circumstance? And we all do.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. We all do.
How to file correctly and how to get everything else in place. The other day, Chuck's talking about trust. He goes, well, we both have revocable trust. I said, what? We do? Maybe you do, but I do not. And if we do, you better show that to me because
Revocable or irrevocable?
Both, apparently.
Like I said, call Justin. I don't want to get around with this thing. Call
I
Justin.
do not know.
Because there is a lot of different ideologies. And he'll tell you, maybe you want to do this, you want to do that. He'll give you examples and everything else.
But you got to know what you got.
Well, I'm going to be making some phone calls because of the information. I have a whole other scenario that I want to do now.
With Justin?
With
you.
Justin, my boys, and everything else, because the game today has changed. It has changed.
When you hear the information, you just got to get it in place. And that Justin will do it, different price points to meet your budget, to do what you need to do. Everyone's got different needs. Just give him a call. Do not go to LegalZoom.com because it's only going to complicate your life. Do you remember you and I went on, we needed a disclaimer for something, for inventory that was left here, that we were not going to be responsible if something happened. 13 pages, and the client said, can't you just write something up that says, Dawn and Freddie are not responsible for this if something happens? That's what we ended up doing. He's like, just sign it, because sometimes they complicate things more than it has to be. Remember, I sat with pages and pages and signing up and trial periods, and just call Justin. It's crazy.
No, yeah, a lot of, I see people bring in documents, or I've done estates where someone had a will that wasn't signed properly, so basically it had no effect.
Wow.
Or they really didn't understand. They put provisions in the document that shouldn't ever have applied. Like I include these where taxes should be paid from if in the event that someone does their will and then they hit the lottery, something like that. It'll say where the taxes are supposed to come from. But yeah, there's some provisions that are put in there by, I don't know if it's other practitioners or people who are attorneys, but they aren't estate planners, that they practice estate planning.
That's the
just because
difference.
a lot of people think it's just a form. No, the vast majority of what I do is going to be that talking to the client, getting an understanding of what their circumstances are, what they want, and what direction I need to put them facing towards.
Well, I downloaded one time from LegalZoom a contract. This is before I even knew you. and I had a sign, and everything was fine. And we had a disagreement, and went to court.
Yeah.
And the judge said, "You got this from LegalZoom. I highly suggest you take it to an attorney." And I ended up splitting the baby in half. But I could have lost that because I downloaded a form that made absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
And there's a legality to everything in life. And if you're talking about the things that are important to you in your life, you
What
want
they
to do
say,
it the
you
right
get what
way.
you pay for, right?
You get what you pay for. my goodness.
$15.99 will not probably get you the documents that you really
Yeah.
need.
It doesn't work.
So just be prudent, do your due diligence. Call Justin. It's a free consultation. You have absolutely nothing to lose and a whole lot of information to gain. Any more with the donuts before we wrap up?
No, we're just going to be at the Bacon and Bourbon Festival in Wellington.
When?
That's, I think it's the 26th and 27th of March. We're going to do a...
Oh, after the baby.
Yeah, after
and
the
no
baby.
diapers.
So we'll
That'll be
see.
fun. Can't wait.
It's going to be like 2 weeks postpartum. We'll see.
How'd the shirts work out?
Shirts look great.
Awesome.
Yeah, they fit. Work
They
great.
fit. That's good.
Yeah.
Don't wash them. No money.
Bacon and Bourbon Fest. That sounds like fun.
Where is that?
Wellington.
It's in Wellington, yeah.
Oh, we have to. I got to go get a donut because you're the donut I eat with a spoon. I tell everybody that at
Yeah.
a meeting, and I say, yeah, I met this guy, and I told him, call it the donut you eat with a spoon, and I get their attention. I don't get their attention for the meeting. I just get them the attention for the idea.
Yeah.
Amazing. Contact Justin. So much information. Precious Treasures Gourmet Food. Tori is going to be opening a butter store, I think. Let's
That's
see.
right, we're gonna
Make
open
your
a store here.
reservations now.
We only have. It's only a 2-seater. This restaurant.
If you want to come by and check out the butter, we've got free tastings with some delicious bread. Thank you, Alana and Slick, for doing all that you do tonight. We've got Taps with Alana. She's interviewing a teen female DJ, so that'll be exciting. And at 7:30, we've got Gina Bella is back in town. Living Life Artfully with Gina Bella.
Should be fun.
Ready to wrap it up?
Let's go.
Have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe, be kind to each other. Give Justin a call or Precious Treasures Gourmet Food for all of your butter needs. And we will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all, sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that gleams across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart